Okay, welcome everyone to the October 2025 regular Board of Directors meeting of the Santa Cruz Metropolitan Transit District. Will we be having a safety briefing today? Okay, great. So we'll begin with our safety briefing from Gregory Strecker, our Safety, Security, and Risk Management Director.
Good morning. In the event of evacuation from this room, the closest exit is directly behind us through the door to the left. At the end of the hallway, there's a door that goes directly to the outside. It's kind of the underground bridge way, if you know where that is. So that's where you would evacuate first. If for some reason that area is blocked, you would go again out the back. You do not want to go through these two doors. It leads to a closed off kitchen area. So you want to head to the hallway, directly down all the way to the end of the hallway, and then up the stairs. Do not take an elevator in the event of evacuation. And then out the door over there. There are a couple fire extinguishers. There's one directly behind our IT guy, right in the corner right there. And there's another fire extinguisher in the hallway directly across from this building. If anyone who's CPR certified, if you don't mind raising your hand, just so we have it. Cool. Thank you. In the event of an earthquake, drop, cover, and wait until the earthquake's over. And then after the earthquake's over, evacuate if it's safe to do so. In the event of an active shooter situation, the first thing you need to do is run, get out away from the active shooter as fast as you possibly can. If you cannot run, the next thing to do is to hide. So get in a position that you can hide. And if you cannot hide, then you need to fight. Any questions? Thank you.
So we'd like to welcome our newly appointed County Director, Elizabeth Madrigal, who will be joining us remotely today. So welcome, Elizabeth. We will now conduct the roll call.
Director Downing.
Oh, did you say me? I'm sorry. Yes, I'm here.
Director Dutra. Director Kalantari Johnson.
Present.
Director Koenig.
Here.
Director Leonor.
Here.
Director Lind.
Here.
Director Madrigal.
Present.
Director Martinez.
Present.
Director Newsom.
Present.
Director Orbach.
Present.
Director Quiroz Carter.
Here.
Ex officio Director Northcutt. And ex officio Director Riskin. And we have quorum.
Thank you. Community Television of Santa Cruz is broadcasting today's meeting, and it will be available on their YouTube channel next week. Hector Guzman is providing Spanish interpretation services today. Have you arrived yet? Here you are. Morning.
Hi, my name is Hector Guzman, and I'm a Spanish interpreter. If anybody needs Spanish interpretation services on any point on the agenda today, please let the board know. Hola, mi nombre es Hector Guzmán. Yo soy un intérprete de inglés-español. Si alguien necesita servicios de interpretación en algún punto de la agenda de hoy, por favor, déjenle saber a la mesa directiva. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. Could you pull the mic down just a little bit? So, yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Do we have any comments this morning from our board members?
Good morning. I do thank y'all for all the work that you've been doing, and in my absence, I appreciate the grace. Cabrillo student body voted to enter into another 3-year +1 contract. I believe it was fully executed, so that's why I came back. We had to make sure it was all said and done, and it's a good thing. Our students are happy about that. Cabrillo also broke ground for housing. We had our groundbreaking ceremony earlier part of this month, or later part of September, I can't remember. And we are on schedule to be open for fall 2027, and that will continue our efforts because that also aligns with our last year with our contract, Metro. So we're hoping that our student body coming in and our housing agreement with UC Santa Cruz will allow us to continue to bridge our efforts with Metro and all of the community efforts that we're doing to help with that housing and the housing crisis for our students.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, I just want to say rodeo, that was great. Give yourself all applause for that. Gregory, I don't know how you did that. I don't know how you managed to handle all the scoring of the judges. You were just running from judge to judge. So I'd like to also thank Donna and Fabian for judging as well. It was a difficult course, so I will never try it. So thank you. I'd also like to thank everyone who participated in this year's Week Without Driving. Your ride-alongs and your own journeys and proclamations made our first year a success and an important reminder of how transportation options affect access for the residents of Santa Cruz. I especially want to thank Danielle and Michael for your work organizing and promoting both the countywide event and the ride-alongs. Thank you to staff members who pitched in at the Capitola Mall, including fetching stairs on short notice. We appreciated that. And our drivers, marketing, and operations staff who attended. Thank you. Moving on to item 6, which is set aside for directors and members of the general public to address any item not on the agenda, which is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. No action or discussion shall be taken on any item presented, except that any director may respond to statements made or questions asked, or may ask questions for clarification. And all matters of an administrative nature will be referred to our staff. Each public comment is limited to 3 minutes or less. We ask you to speak so we all can hear you and invite you to step to the podium now.
Thank you. Brian Peoples with Trail Now. We're a local organization supporting, advocating to build the coastal trail in a timely, cost-effective, and eco-friendly manner. And actually, we advocate for transit in general. We've been around for 15 years, thousands of local supporters. Me, myself, I've been a transit advocate for well over 30 years. I started shuttles in the Silicon Valley to Caltrains. I actually wrote a state bill in 2006 that gave corporations a credit for giving money for transit. So me personally, I've been a strong advocate of transit, and I believe in Metro. I'm coming here today to voice my concerns about the representatives from Metro on the RTC, actually specifically Vanessa. And the reason is she's advocating against Metro, in our view. She's advocating for a $5 billion train, okay? She's advocating for building a boondoggle trail next to the tracks that basically pulls money away from our community and Metro. And I'm here to raise a flag that Metro can't afford to have that type of representation on the RTC, especially with the tax measure that you're going to be trying to get. I'll give you another example. She's not representing Watsonville. Watsonville got 8% of active transportation. Santa Cruz got 70%. And then Santa Cruz came back to Watson, now is coming back and saying, hey, we want to take more of Watsonville money. And she advocated for this. So we can't afford to have this type of advocacy from Metro. And I'm here because I'm a strong advocate for transit, I'm here to say, you guys, we can't afford to have this type of leadership coming from Metro and being on the RTC because it's going to jeopardize your tax measure. I guarantee it. You don't want us opposing your tax measure. And if we have Vanessa over there telling us we need a $5 billion train or a boondoggle trail, or doesn't support the interim trail, which is a more cost-effective approach, Metro, your tax measure could be in jeopardy. I'm telling you now, standing in front of you, so please, let's get some representatives from Metro on RTC who have a financial understanding of transportation solutions. Thank you for your time.
Hi there, my name is Gwian Rabbit, and I'm a member of the Ocean Street Neighborhood Association. Most of us are working on 9 o'clock on a weekday, so you just got a small representation, a delegation from us. We asked that this agenda be put on, or this issue be agendized, but we're turned down for that, so I've got a prepared statement. I'm going to kind of read that to keep myself under the 3 minutes. If you remember, I came to you 2 months ago to talk about the disturbingly now loud repeating noises coming from the hydrogen refueler at your facility on River Street. And unfortunately, the problem has been getting worse, not better. When the refueler was installed in the spring, it was going off in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m., waking everybody up. We complained about that, and we were told that it was going to be cut back to only happen during business hours, which never actually happened. It got cut back to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., which was a lot of disturbance, but that's been creeping up to 9 p.m. and then to 10 p.m. Now it's been going off after 11 o'clock. It's waking up our kids on school nights, yeah? And I just want to be clear here that this sound is like 150 times louder than what's allowed under city ordinance. I mean, 150 times louder. So I know there are plans to install a muffler to reduce the sound. Sounds good. No one in the Metro staff has been able to say whether that will actually reduce it to legal limits. I've asked that question, and we've asked that question repeatedly, and every time, dodged the question. So for all you're hearing that there may be a muffler coming, that's quite possibly not going to solve the problem. And about the muffler, in July, Metro assured us that it would be installed in August. In August, they told us it was going to be installed in September. In September, they told us it was going to be installed in October. It's now October. We just heard a few days ago, oh no, it's going to be November. So can you understand why we're not feeling assured by this? Yeah? And I don't know. I mean, this seems to really become an issue of either dishonesty or incompetence. I mean, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. So at this point, we're like, what do we do? You know, do we go to the media over this? I mean, we try to be patient, but our kids are getting broken sleep on school nights, right? So what's going on? We're people who volunteer for city council campaigns, who put up yard signs, talk to friends about supervisors campaigns, who donate money. We have a neighborhood association who, well, at this point, we're going to start making endorsements, right, to try and make it clear how we stand on various folks who are running for office and your tax measure, right? And I got to say, at this point, Metro is not looking like a competent organization that's worthy of our trust. So thank you. And one last thing, I sent a written complaint about the sound on June 20th. That was to the full board. It was acknowledged by staff, but it didn't appear in either your agenda or your packets, which I think is a record problem that you might want to fix. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Michael Nussbaum. I live at 200 Crossing Street, which makes me one of the closest neighbors to the Metro Yard. I would like to play you a little recording. Unfortunately, I would need, if I can press this, come on. Okay, it's on. This is what it sounds like next to our kitchen window. About 4 times, well, I would need 4 of these to get it to the right sound pressure level. This wakes us up in the middle of the night. I think Rabbit's been out of town for a while, so he's not fully up on when this happens. A couple weeks ago, this happened at 3 a.m. A couple weeks ago, this happened at 5 a.m. This past Monday, this happened at 12:04 a.m. We, at this point, do not have any trust in your word on this, sir. You've told us this was going to be mitigated in August, then in September, then in October, and now we're hearing November. This is more than 150 times the sound pressure level permitted by the Santa Cruz Code, it is between 250 and 1,000 times the acoustic level, depending on the event. It is above OSHA's level for occupational hearing hazard. Well, OSHA's extended level, so this is not actually this is not actually a hearing hazard at my house. But if it occurred all the time, it would be. That's 85 dB. Above 85 dB, you need hearing protection. On my front porch, it's 90 dB, but not for long enough that I'm really worried about my hearing. But it does wake us up in the middle of the night. So you guys have to take this seriously, because we are going to go public with it if something's not done soon. And, you know, I don't think an incompetent organization deserves a tax measure at this point. And we're not seeing much competency here. Thank you for your time.
Coral Brune, I'm a neighbor of the bus yard at the tannery. I guess I'm representing them. We've noticed this big dragon noise for a long time in the daytime, at nighttime. It just started, before that, I was more concerned about the really loud tone and long tones that sometimes would last over the weekend. And I never did discover what that was. And I know that people have discussed the tone that we're all talking about, the I guess natural gas sound that just seemed to have started in the last couple of months. I've lived at the tannery for 10 years, and there was that wasn't happening for a long time. Just started this year. So I'd just like to also acknowledge that this is happening, and if there would be any way to modify it a little bit, that would be what we want, I would say. In conclusion, thanks.
Hi, my name is Jill Damashek. I'm in the neighborhood of the Ocean Street Extension, and I'm here to represent the people with young children who are being woken up, people who have sick relatives that they care for that do not understand why this goes off in the middle of the night and have to continually explain this issue. I'm a proponent of Metro, but not of this hydrogen refueler, and if something doesn't happen soon, we will go public, and we will not vote for your measure. Thank you for your time.
Do we have any online comments, Donna? No? It's time for our labor communications. Do we have any comments from our labor organizations this morning? Okay, well, moving to the consent agenda. Yes,
I'd like to comment on the public comment.
sure. Okay.
Thank you. I want to thank the neighbors for coming. I have been in touch with some of you about this issue, and I am truly sorry that this has taken so long and it's affecting your everyday lives and the lives of your kids. That is unacceptable. I know that we have been trying to work with the muffler company, and they've delayed it. I want to ask if Director Aldridge can give an update on that. And I wasn't aware that the request to agendize this was denied, but I would like to explore an alternative place for the temporary refueler if we don't get the muffler in the allotted time that has been promised to us. So I don't know if we need to agendize that, if I can just follow up with you, Director Aldridge.
So for the first time, we actually, a couple days ago, received in a written timeline of when the muffler would arrive. Before that, it was just verbal promises from the vendor. Right now, they're saying that the completion of the silencer will be November 7th. Then it will be taken to Houston for a fit-up, and then it will be freighted here to Metro. The on-site installation and commissioning, they expect to be the beginning of the week of November 17th. So prior to Thanksgiving right now. And this is the first time that we've had anything in writing from them. So.
May I ask sort of a procedural question? If we wanted to explore an alternative site for the temporary fueling station, which I know there are challenges to that, would that need to be agendized? I'm sort of looking to our attorney, or can I give that direction now?
You could give the direction to staff to investigate, and then if you're going to take action to actually have,
Okay,
but you can certainly give direction for staff to do due diligence and report back.
okay. I'd like to give that direction now, if that's okay, and have it come back to our November meeting. Maybe we agendize it for the November meeting to get the update and report, and then we can take action at the November meeting. And hopefully by then, the muffler's in place, and it's working, and kids aren't being woken up on school nights.
Is now time for additional question? If now's an appropriate time, I'd like to ask Director Aldridge also just a question for clarity around the protocol you have around timing for using this device, and if your staff have been following that, or any sort of follow-up actions that may have come as a result of timing.
Yeah, the protocol right now that we've put in place is that the last fueling will happen between 6 and 8 p.m. and that the last pressure release would happen at 8 p.m. We understand that there have been some that have happened after that. We have video, so we're going through and reviewing video to see when that, when it didn't follow that protocol. We did find that we had at least one of our cleaners that fueled late at night, and so we have then talked to them again about what the timeline is. And so we're trying to do everything we can to keep the sound or from it releasing pressure or fueling between 8 and I think 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. But yeah, I mean, we're doing all that we can with that, and it is challenging. So, Margaret, do you have more, Dad?
So we did, as Corey said, we did find that some of the VSWs did not follow our direction. So yesterday, I've asked them to only fuel 5 buses between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. That should give us the correct cutoff that it shouldn't vent after 10 p.m. So there was a misunderstanding. Kind of the process is when the bus comes in, they fuel the bus. And they thought they were doing the right thing. But right now, we do have 10 buses in service, but I've reduced it to 5. And any buses that aren't fueled by 8 p.m. are fueled during the day by our other maintenance staff.
And as a follow-up to that, do the neighbors have a direct contact with somebody at Metro to ask questions around what they might expect? I think in some ways, we know the situation is not ideal, but if there was clear communication on kind of what they should expect around noise, when things might change, if something is off, like in the evening and these hours aren't correct, who would be that point of contact, or is there a way that we can make sure that there's a community relations?
Well, they have my cell number. They've texted me. They've called me. I provided information to the board about the fueler. So they do have my number, and they called me at 3 a.m. So, and they've emailed me, and they've emailed Corey as well. So, you know, I feel, and I do apologize for it. But we are trying to mitigate it as much as possible.
Thank you.
I just want, I mean, I have no objection to receiving an item in, at the proposed time, about moving the temporary fueler, but I think there is a fair amount of information that this board has received in the past. So first of all, once we get the permanent fueler installed early next year, I believe the plan is to move the temporary fueler to Watsonville. Is that correct?
Correct.
Right. I mean, it's not, and even though it is a mobile fueler, I believe there was a fair amount of cost associated with, I mean,
Correct.
moving it each time. I mean, it's close to somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million. Is that right?
Yes.
Right. So
It's not like we can quickly do it overnight if we identify another site. We actually have identified another site and plan to do it. I guess the main question then is, are we planning the same kind of sound mitigation for the permanent fueler that will be online next
So
year?
the mitigation is going on now. We have, I'm not sure what they're called, but we've put things all over JKS so that we can find out what this problem is with the sound and what our neighbors are hearing and seeing. There are 4 of them that are over, the facility so that we can monitor the sound, so that we can let the city know what the sound will be when the Messer fueler is on. As I said before, I'm not going to allow it to commission if there's a problem with the sound. It's not going to happen. But we are mitigating it. Messer is really aware of it. That's the folks that are building the permanent fueler. So we're getting ahead of it this time.
Thank you.
So they have questions. Their audience has questions. Yeah.
Just
I know you're
a
chair,
follow-up-
but.
Well, just to follow up too, my understanding is that Corey or you have been putting as much pressure as you can on the manufacturer, and they've been promising that it'd be here like in August and September and October. And my understanding is they don't follow, that there's some action taken to try to warn them that we may, anyway, could I get a clarification?
So I did kind of say if this is not, if I don't have a definitive date, we're just not going to move forward with paying you. So I think that kind of motivated Plug. And as Corey said, we got dates, and we had not been getting dates before, just word of mouth promises. We are not in directly contact with the company that does the muffler, so we were kind of relying on Plug. But I guess money motivates people to ask the correct questions.
One last comment, and I'm afraid we're kind of, now it's like it's agendized. This is why I want to agendize it for next month so we can have a thorough conversation. But given that we are out of compliance with the city's noise ordinance, and given that we've now had the delays, not our fault, but still the delays, this is why I want to very seriously consider an alternative location if we haven't had our needs met by that date in November. So I understand the challenges because we've had conversations, but I think we need to move forward with the next step and the next plan. So.
And I'm going to ask those of you that raised your hand to speak with staff after the meeting, since our comment period is over. Thank you. So we'll continue with the consent agenda, where our items are recommended actions that are considered to be routine and will be acted upon as one motion. Do we have comments from the board regarding this or any requests to pull an item for discussion?
Sure.
Yes.
I just had one question on 10.6, the basically Hastis upgrade for $500,000 or an amount not to exceed. Could you just clarify how this is different than the ask on the consolidated grant application, which is also a Hastis upgrade? Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you online.
No? Now I think it's coming now. Okay. Again, John Argo, Chief Planning Officer. So they're related. It's partial funding from one source and partial funding from the other, and the two provide the full funding for the Hastis upgrade.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I did want to mention that our Metro Advisory Committee appointments are still open. We had a lot of applicants, but none from south of SoCal. and we are seeking a more geographic distribution of members. So if you know someone who rides the bus and lives south of Soquel, please let them know about this committee. And we'll now ask for public comments. Do we have any public comments on the consent agenda? Any online?
There are none.
Okay. So a motion is required to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Move approval of consent.
Second.
Time for a roll call vote.
Director Downey?
Aye.
Director Dutra?
Aye.
Director Kallenberg-Johnson?
Aye.
Director Koenig?
Aye.
Director Leonore?
Yes.
Director Lind?
Aye.
Director Madrigal?
Aye.
Director Martinez?
Aye.
Director Newsom?
Aye.
Director Orbach?
Aye.
Director Key Rose Carter?
Aye.
And the motion passes.
Thank you, and now we'll hear from our CEO, Corey Aldridge. And could you speak into the mic so that our remote listeners can hear? Thank you.
Yes, I will do my best to speak into the microphone. So Metro is proud to announce that its One Ride at a Time campaign video was honored with the 2025 Star Award for Best Promotion of Public Agency by the California Association of Public Information Officials. In addition to the top honor, Metro received the honorable mention for two other standout projects, the How to Ride video and Next Stop social video series. Each board member has been given a copy of the Fall Vibes magazine. This issue highlights One Ride at a Time, Reimagine Metro, and our social video series, Next Stop. The Government Finance Officers Association has awarded Metro the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for its budget document for the period ending July 2025. This prestigious honor represents the highest level of recognition in governmental budgeting and marks a significant achievement for the organization. A big thank you to our finance team for their tireless work. Some events that are coming up and already happened. October 9th was Trades Day. It was hosted at the Civic Auditorium in downtown Santa Cruz. Metro joined a plethora of local agencies, companies, and organizations looking to share career and job opportunities with high schoolers. Metro staffed the event with a bus operator, customer service representative, mechanic, and a member of our HR team. On October 16th was a Sustainable Transportation Fair at UCSC. It was hosted by UCSC. Metro joined TAPS, B-Cycle, and other transit organizations at the Quarry Plaza to educate and showcase transportation options for students at UCSC. Metro brought a wrapped hydrogen bus and staffed a booth. On October 17th, Soquel Elementary Fall Carnival. Metro joined Soquel Elementary's Fall Carnival, which brought together families, parents, and the children of Soquel Elementary. Metro's marketing team, alongside CSR, highlighted Metro's Youth Cruise Free program, which has resulted in a 536% increase in youth ridership, and our Reimagine Metro campaign, which has brought a 43% increase in ridership. On October 18th, Metro held another successful bus rodeo at the newly acquired Watsonville facility and brought together current and retired staff members. The event began with Lizette Mendoza Garcia singing the national anthem, followed by Hythe Nguyen serving as a master of ceremonies. Music was provided by Uriel Mendoza. A special thanks to our board members, Rebecca Downing, Donna Lind, and Fabienne Leonore, for participating as judges for both the rodeo course and Metro's first ever salsa contest. The success of the event was a result of a true team effort across multiple departments: marketing, operations, fleet, facilities, safety, and admin. The winners of our rodeo in the fixed route category, first place was Sean Gibson. Second place was Ben Fink, who is here with us today. Third place, Mark Vasquez. In fleet, it was first place Tyler Williams, second place Christian Mark, and third place Walt Mancuso. For Paracruz, first place was Saul Acosta, and second place was Manny Diaz. Our salsa contest winner was Maria Hernandez. On October 20th, the fleet received Metro's final 40-foot new build vehicle from New Flyer. On October 24th today is the county trunk or treat. Metro will be supporting 2 trunk or treat events this evening with decorated buses, one at the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office headquarters on Soquel Avenue from 5 to 8 p.m., and one at the Fairgrounds in Watsonville from 3 to 7 p.m. On October 26th will be the Watsonville Candy Crawl. Metro will have a Halloween-themed bus on display at the downtown Watsonville Candy Crawl. We encourage everyone to come out for some Halloween fun. Since the September board meeting, Metro has hired 1 provisional customer service representative. And that's the end of my report. I'm going to turn the time over to our legal counsel, Julie, to talk about SB 707.
Thanks, all. So you've probably heard about SB 707 at your appointing jurisdictions. If you haven't, it's the largest Brown Act overhaul in many years. The bill has some vague provisions, let's say. It had a lot of hands on it, a lot of last-minute amendments. We didn't actually know if it would go through, but it did, sort of last minute. We heard, they were going to turn it into a 2-year bill at midnight, and then we woke up and they had actually passed it. So sort of a surprise to all of us. We're still trying to understand some of these provisions that aren't well drafted. Takeaway for this agency, the traditional teleconference rules under the Brown Act remain intact. You're all familiar with those, I believe, and if you're not, please talk to me. And the alternative teleconference rules that were put in place during the pandemic, which were set to sunset, have been extended. There are some changes, which we're going to prepare a pretty detailed memo to share with staff to make sure that the board is doing everything to comply with the new regulations. I understand there's going to be some cleanup in the next legislative session. Obviously, we'll keep everyone informed about that. One thing that could be beneficial to this agency is that the MAC, there's a new provision, and this was something that was lobbied for pretty intensely, for subsidiary committees to be able to basically teleconference without complying with the traditional rules. So basically what happened during the pandemic, right? Everybody was able to teleconference all the time, and they didn't have to comply with the traditional rules. That went away, but now some subsidiary bodies, and it's defined in the legislation, can now just 100% teleconference. For this agency, I'm still looking at our analysis. I think the only committee that would be able to do that is the MAC. But for a lot of agencies, there's a lot of interest in letting their advisory committees teleconference to get more participation and make it easier for folks to participate. So our memo will detail that, and if the MAC folks are interested in zooming in, that's something that we'll have to take some action here, and then they would be able to do. But I'll, like I said, we'll have our big memo coming out. We're still trying to understand some provisions. We don't have the answers. We're just going to make the best call because, like I said, it's not well drafted. And we'll walk through what we have to do to implement. I'm happy to answer any questions. Yeah.
Thank you for that. With this ever-changing tides of the rules we have to abide by. So am I clear? So now on these committees, because I sit on other boards and I show up to these committees via calling in or teleconferencing. So now you're saying that that's going away and we have to, no.
So if you're using the traditional rules, right, which is like you put your agenda, you put your address on the agenda, you have 72-hour notice, it's publicly accessible, those rules are intact.
And we can use that now for here as well?
Correct.
Okay.
And then the alternative rules that allowed you to call in sort of like spur of the moment for just cause and emergency, those have been extended.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions for Corey from the board? None? Then do we have any public comments on the CEO report? Yeah, no peanut gallery. And none online. Okay, so we'll now consider item 13, to approve the consolidated grant program regarding metro priorities and guidance to the Santa Cruz County Regional Transportation Commission representatives. John Urgo, Chief Planning and Innovation Officer, will present the grant program.
Item 12, okay. Mic check, 1, 2, we're good. Good morning, Chair, Directors. Today's item provides an update on the Regional Transportation Commission's 2025 Consolidated Grants Program and asks the board to give direction to Metro's representatives on the RTC as to which projects to prioritize for funding. This is a competitive, performance-based program that comes around every 2 to 3 years, and about $15 million in regional, state, and federal transportation funds will be awarded countywide this cycle, including roughly $1.5 million specifically for transit projects. This has become a biennial beauty contest of sorts over the past few cycles, where Metro competes alongside the county, the 4 cities in our region, UCSC, Ecology Action, and Community Bridges. And in the past 2 cycles, Metro has actually received 0 funding from the regional pot. But this year, we're putting together some strong contestants for the RTC's consideration, and I want to introduce to them today. First off, we have the 90X Highway 1 Express. This is a gorgeous route, and we want to see her back on the red carpet on those freshly painted bus-on-shoulder lanes on Highway 1. Next up, we have 6 Cruz vans for your consideration. These are the free spirits of our fleet. They never follow a fixed route. Instead, shuttle on demand, taking our seniors and riders with disabilities to wherever they need to go, parentheses, within 3/4 of a mile of fixed route. Third, we have a makeover for our West Beach lot. This property is in desperate need of a glow-up, including fresh resurfacing and glamorous lighting to illuminate its darkest corner so we can safely park our fleet there and potentially move that mobile fueler down in the future. And finally, we have our scheduling software upgrade, and I'll admit, this old dog is not much to look at. He's been around the block since 2009, but the scheduling software is what drives our whole operation, and it's well past time for an upgrade. Thankfully, though, this contest is not about looks, but about how well you perform, and the RTC evaluates all applications using criteria focused on safety, equity, sustainability, and system performance. And importantly, there's no winning formula. Under both California Transportation Commission and Federal Highway Administration guidance, the RTC is prohibited from distributing these funds by formula allocations based on population or road miles. Metro's 4 projects requests total $1.98 million. This represents 100% of the transit funding in the pot this year and 3% of regional funds, which again, we have received 0 of over the past 7 years. And RTC staff preliminary recommendations included full funding for 3 of these projects, but only $200,000 of the $900,000 requested for the scheduling software upgrade, leaving a $700,000 gap. And this funding is for 3 years of operation. It's a SaaS product, and so the $200,000 gets us a partial 1 year, but the full request gets us full 3 years of operation. However, the Interagency Technical Advisory Committee voted to fully fund all Metro projects, recognizing their countywide benefits, and that's the slate that we provided in attachment 1 that we added as Metro staff recommendations as well. And the board today is asked to provide direction to our RTC representatives consistent with Metro's bylaws, specifically to prioritize Metro projects that preserve and enhance fixed route and paratransit service, safety, and zero emission readiness, and partner projects that deliver transit benefits such as signal coordination, queue jumps, and corridor improvements like pedestrian, bike, and paving improvements on our corridors. And all lightheartedness aside, This is one of the few local sources of discretionary funding that's available to Metro for fleet replacement, facility modernization, and other projects that supports the RTC's criteria and goals that are reviewed and approved by the committees and by the full RTC. And your clear guidance today will help ensure that Metro's voice at the RTC is unified, strategic, and focused on delivering reliable, sustainable transit for our community. That concludes my presentation, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
Could you explain to ITAC for those of us that are not that familiar with it?
The ITAC is an advisory committee that consists of representatives from every local agency in the jurisdiction. So the county, the 4 cities, UCSC has a seat and a vote, Ecology Action, and Community Bridges. And we meet monthly to provide our input and guidance on matters before the RTC.
Thank you. Do we have any comments from the board on this presentation? Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, and thank you for the presentation. I don't think our board has ever done this, and I'm glad to see that we're at least having the conversation. I mean, I think that the fact that we have 3 direct representatives on the RTC as well as others of us that sit on both is really, a potential, potentially very powerful block. And I think it's good that we're finally exercising some of that power or we're talking about it as a board. So that's one side of it. The other is, I know there's sort of the suggestion here that maybe this board just support the ITAC proposal in full. I would say I don't know what the exact parameters of whatever deal we're able to work out at the RTC will look like, and so I would suggest that we support full funding, certainly for the Metro asks, and then maybe support the ITAC proposal for every project that Metro touches, which are basically a number of roads. I mean, even though some of those roads don't actually have like transit improvements on them, I think that they're still just improving the corridor, get more people using them, and even bring more attention to Metro on them. So those roads include, I believe, Bay Avenue, or project include the Bay Avenue corridor final design, Soquel Drive multimodal project, which of course actually does include signal enhancements for Metro, Granite Creek overcrossing, Clifford Avenue Road rehabilitation, and Freedom Boulevard Road rehabilitation. As far as I can tell, that's where there's direct overlap between Metro's routes and road projects. If there's something I missed, please let me know. But I think if we support the Metro projects and those projects, there's clear overlap with our mission here at Metro. But then that also provides a little bit of flexibility for whatever needs to be worked out at the RTC.
Just to confirm, yeah, those are the projects where there's direct overlap with Metro service.
Thank you. Do we have any other board comments?
Over here. I thank you for bringing that up. The Freedom Boulevard, I don't even know if you want to call it a street, so I definitely, or a road. But yeah, definitely, would support this. And I guess my question is when was the last time that Metro received funding from, I guess, overall from the source?
From this consolidated call? I mean, I've been here since 2000, and the last 2 cycles we did not. I believe in the cycle before that was 2017, 2018. We did, but I could look
why
at it
though?
for you.
Why do you think?
Why haven't we? I can't comment directly on that. I'll just say my experience in the process has been we go through the call for projects. We try our best to respond to the RTC's criteria. We've always been recommended for funding by RTC staff and by the advisory committees, and then when it gets to the full RTC, the funding is shifted somewhere else.
I guess my question is why?
I mean, I can comment on that a little bit. So even the suggestion that like Metro didn't receive anything out of the consolidated call, I mean, that's factually true, but then the TERSIP grant from the state also came in at the same time, which was $40 million. So it's not like we walked away empty-handed. And so the argument has been that there's very few sources of funding. In fact, like I can't really think of many others for roads, whereas Metro is able to pull funding from different sources. So that's that's kind of why it tends to pan out that way.
So it's basically Metro could pull from other sources, so other projects were prioritized.
Or just has other grant opportunities that just basic road maintenance don't. And because of the funding formulas in our county around like property taxes and that come back to the county and to the cities, we just end up with a very low level of road maintenance. And so the consolidated grant is pretty much one of the primary opportunities to fund our dilapidated road system.
And when's this vote? When do you guys?
Not next Thursday, but the Thursday after, so November 6th, I believe.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for bringing this to our attention and for submitting these applications. And this is my first time navigating this grant process as both a representative of Metro, representative of the County of Santa Cruz, a representative on the RTC. And just given that, I appreciate Director Koenig's suggestion that we sort of broaden the recommendation to support more than just the Metro applications. For me, I'll just be super honest, I just don't know yet, right? There's a lot that will be coming to us as RTC decision makers, and it seems really cut and dry to support the Metro applications like that. I'm like, got it, clear. But then when it comes to all the road projects and the give and takes across the other projects that are gonna be coming before the RTC, I think maybe what I would recommend is like, it's helpful to hear the perspective, it's helpful to like take into consideration. I'm fully, not in support. I would love to fund everything, but we're not going to be able to. So I think for me, I would feel most comfortable giving guidance to our Metro representatives to support the Metro applications that we submitted. And then we'll have decisions to make down the road around the other projects, the road projects that also will support Metro's overall goals, but maybe are less, they're not actually Metro's application.
Thank you. Do we have any other comments from the board?
Vanessa has her hand raised.
Thank you, Chair. A quick comment. I just wanted to say I'm really excited to hear that we are asking to bring back the 90X. I know Commissioner Dutra is a big fan of it, and I am as well. It takes about 2 hours to get from Watsonville to Santa Cruz, and that's a lot when you have to be at work at 8 a.m. You have to leave by 5, at the very latest, 5:30. But so the 90X is really, really critical, as well as the Paracruz vans. So I'm really, really in support. And I hope that we can find a way to fund all of our asks. And that is it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Director Leonore.
Yes. Thank you for the presentation. It's very important that we support our Metro family because our riders depend on having these new routes, like especially 90X. That's going to be a route that's going to get us from Watsonville to Santa Cruz in a rapid time. I spent an hour and 30 minutes on the bus coming here today. It was an accident, but an hour and 30 minutes. I left my house at 7 o'clock and I got here at 9. So it was bad today. So definitely, like Commissioner Representative Martinez said, you know what, there's some stuff that is going to come our way and we're probably not going to be able to, we'll listen to it, but maybe guidance, give some guidance to whatever needs to get done. But thank you for the presentation and I look forward to seeing that route again. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, yes, I'll thank you. I personally want to hear all of those adjectives in the proposal. I want you to say that it's going to be glammed up. I want you to say the sexy route of 90X. I need all of those adjectives. But my question is, how can Cabrillo support the effort for our students who are in Watsonville, who come back and forth? And this was a route that was heavily used by our Watsonville constituency. And given that we just got the Metro contract back at Cabrillo for another 3 years, and we're getting housing, and students are going back and forth, I want to make sure that we are able to leverage some voicing and some support. So how? Give me some language.
Ask them to contact their representatives on the RTC.
Awesome.
I have,
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to thank and appreciate staff bringing this forward. I know that we often wear many hats, and so to have clarity and guidance and direction for when we make these hard decisions on other bodies as Metro representatives, I think is really essential and helpful. So I hope we continue to do this moving forward.
That's the plan.
Thank you. Yes, Director Rohrbach.
Yes, thank you. I had a question. So if we don't get funding from this grant cycle, how would we fund these projects?
We wouldn't. We'd look for other sources, but we'd be seriously constrained in our ability to bring back the 90X. We'd have funding for maybe one Paracruise van instead of 6. There isn't another source for the West Beach lot, nor is there another source for the Hastus for the scheduling upgrade. So we wouldn't be able to implement those projects.
So I understand the difficulties in budgeting and prioritizing projects, especially when we're sitting on multiple boards and commissions and thinking about the overall picture of all of the projects in the county. But if I were to provide my 2 cents of the 4 projects, if we can prioritize it, I'd love to see the bus on shoulder operation 90X come back, just because, you know, with the highway expansion, we are spending so much money with the improved infrastructure on Highway 1. Let's utilize it. Let's utilize it and make sure that we have that connection between North County and South County so our residents can get to work and to school and have public transit truly work for them. I would love to see us prioritize this. Thank you.
I just have a couple of comments. I know that it's hard when you have to divvy up a pie that doesn't feed everyone. I just want us all to remember that even if there's a county road project that, you know, we would rather have be something for us. Having ridden with Paracruise and where they go, you know, any road improvement improves Metro, especially within 3/4 of a mile from the fixed route areas, and even improving beyond that allows people that want to, you know, have to drive to the Metro to take the bus somewhere, you know, that improves the roads for them as well, and it also lessens the wear and tear on our tires. So, additionally, the RTC committee, the ITAC. They work together to create this list. It's a consensus. So we have to keep that in mind. I know, Director Martinez, you were saying, you know, we won't know till we get in the room. And so I would just recommend that if anyone has questions about that, to talk to, in your case, the county ITAC folks, so that you can understand why they agreed to the decisions that were made there. Thank you.
Welcome.
Do we have any public comments? Any online?
There are none.
So we're asking a motion for this resolution, and so I will need a motion.
All right, well, I will make a motion and, you know, to Director Martinez's point that we should maintain maximum flexibility while still supporting the projects directly relevant to Metro. I'll move that we direct our Metro representatives on the RTC to vote for 100% funding for all Metro submitted projects and a minimum of the $3.8 million ITAC proposed funding level for the So-Called Drive multimodal project.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So we'll take a roll call vote.
Director Downing?
Aye.
Director Dutra?
Aye.
Director Kalantari Johnson?
Aye.
Director Koenig?
Aye.
Director Leonore?
Yes.
Director Lind?
Aye.
Director Madrigal?
Aye.
Director Martinez?
Aye.
Director Newsom?
Aye.
Director Orbach?
Aye.
And Director Quiroz Carter?
Aye.
And the
motion passes. We will now recess to close session for a conference with legal counsel. And are there any public comments on this item before we request the room be closed to enter into closed session? Seeing none, we'll adjourn to closed session. Thank you. On item 14, we have nothing to report out of closed session. And our next board meeting will be held on Friday, November 21st at 9 a.m. at the Metro Administrative Office at 110 Vernon Street, Santa Cruz. And I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.